Have you ever laughed at someone because they looked too old, too quiet, or too ordinary to be dangerous? Most people judge strength by muscles, speed, and loud confidence. But sometimes, true power hides behind a wrinkled smile and a broom. What happened inside one small martial arts gym shocked everyone who witnessed it. It wasn't just about a fight. It was about respect, humility, and a lesson no one would ever forget. The young MMA instructor believed he had already mastered everything worth knowing. The old janitor looked like a man who could barely carry a bucket of water. But before the day ended, one simple finger would bring the strongest man in the room to his knees, proving that real kung fu is not about showing off, it is about understanding power. Before we begin, welcome to Black Belt Legacy. If you enjoy inspiring martial arts stories that teach powerful life lessons, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us continue bringing these unforgettable stories to life. Now, let's begin. Every morning before sunrise, an old man named Mr. Leung quietly unlocked the doors of Iron Wolf MMA Gym in Seattle. He swept the floors, cleaned the mirrors, wiped down the training mats, and smiled politely at everyone who walked through the entrance. Most members barely noticed him. To them, he was simply the janitor. At 68 years old, Mr. Leung moved slowly and spoke very little. His hands were rough from years of work, and his clothes were always plain. Nobody imagined that those gentle hands had once trained thousands of students across Asia. Nobody knew he had spent more than 50 years studying traditional kung fu under masters whose names had become legends. The gym's star instructor was Ryan Carter, a 29-year-old former MMA champion. Ryan was talented, powerful, and extremely confident. His classes were always full because people admired his strength and aggressive style. He often told students that old martial arts traditions belonged in museums. Kung fu looks pretty, Ryan would joke. But in the real world, modern fighters would destroy those old techniques. The students laughed every time. Mr. Leung never answered. He simply continued sweeping. One rainy afternoon, Ryan noticed Mr. Leung practicing strange hand movements alone after everyone had left. The old man moved so slowly that it almost looked like a dance. Ryan burst into laughter. "Hey, Grandpa," he called across the room. "Are you fighting invisible mosquitoes?" A few students who were still changing clothes laughed loudly. Mr. Leung smiled kindly. "It is only practice," he replied. Ryan shook his head. "You know, people waste years learning that stuff. MMA changed everything. One round with me, and those little finger tricks disappear." Mr. Leung quietly placed the broom against the wall. "Every style has something valuable," he said softly. Ryan crossed his arms. "No offense, old man, but I don't think your style would last 10 seconds. The room became silent. One student nervously whispered, "Coach, maybe just let it go." But Ryan's pride had already taken over. "If you're so confident," Ryan said with a grin, "show us one move." Mr. Leung looked uncomfortable. "I am only a cleaner here." "Exactly," Ryan replied. "Show everyone what the janitor can do." Several students gathered around the mat, expecting an embarrassing moment. Mr. Leung slowly removed his work gloves and stepped onto the training floor. His calm eyes showed no anger. "I do not wish to fight." Ryan smiled. "Neither do I. Just defend yourself." Ryan rushed forward with a quick grab, expecting to push the old man backward. Instead, Mr. Leung gently turned his body only a few inches. Ryan's hand missed completely. The students gasped. Ryan attacked again, faster this time. Again, Mr. Leung barely moved. Every attack seemed to slide past him like water flowing around a rock. Ryan's smile disappeared. He launched a powerful combination of punches and kicks. Mr. Leung calmly avoided every strike without throwing a single punch. The room fell completely silent. Sweat rolled down Ryan's face. Frustrated, he charged one final time with all his strength. At that exact moment, Mr. Liang slowly lifted one finger and lightly touched a small point just below Ryan's shoulder near the chest. Nothing looked dramatic. There was no loud impact. No flashy move. But Ryan suddenly froze. His legs became weak. His knees slowly collapsed onto the mat. His breathing became shallow as his right arm went completely numb. Shock filled his face. What did you do? The students rushed forward, worried. Mr. Liang calmly knelt beside Ryan. I only interrupted your balance for a moment. With another gentle touch, Ryan's breathing returned to normal, and feeling slowly came back into his arm. The room remained silent for several long seconds. Ryan stared at the old man with complete disbelief. How is that possible? Mr. Liang smiled gently. Kung Fu is not about hurting people. It is about understanding the human body, controlling yourself, and using the smallest effort for the greatest result. Ryan looked down at the floor. For the first time in years, his confidence had been replaced by humility. I mocked you, he admitted quietly. And I was wrong. Mr. Liang placed a hand on Ryan's shoulder. You were not wrong because you trained MMA. You were wrong because you believed learning had ended. Those words stayed in Ryan's mind long after everyone went home. The next morning, the students arrived expecting another normal class. Instead, they found Ryan standing beside Mr. Liang with deep respect. Ryan bowed. I have something important to say. Everyone watched quietly. I spent years teaching that strength comes from power and speed. Yesterday I learned strength begins with humility. Today, I want all of us to learn from someone who understands martial arts better than I ever imagined. The students looked at Mr. Liang with completely different eyes. The quiet janitor stepped forward. For the next hour, he taught them breathing, balance, patience, and simple movements that looked effortless but required incredible focus. Nobody laughed. Every student listened carefully. Over the following months, Iron Wolf MMA Gym changed. Modern MMA training remained strong, but every class now began with respect, discipline, and traditional Kung Fu principles. Students became calmer. Arguments became rare. Even competitions felt different because everyone understood that the greatest victory was not defeating another person, it was defeating arrogance within themselves. Ryan often told new members the story of the day he was brought to his knees by one finger. Whenever someone asked if it was true, he smiled. I didn't lose to an old man, he would say. I lost to my own pride. Mr. Liang continued cleaning the gym every morning, just as he always had. He never asked for fame. He never called himself a master. His greatest lesson was never the technique that dropped a champion with one finger. His greatest lesson was showing that true Kung Fu lives inside kindness, patience, discipline, and respect. Because real masters never need to prove how strong they are. Their actions speak louder than their words. And sometimes, the strongest warrior in the room is the one holding a broom instead of a trophy. If this story touched your heart, remember that real strength is measured by character, not appearance. Treat every person with respect because wisdom often hides where we least expect it. Share this story with someone who believes strength is only about muscles, and help spread the timeless values of Kung Fu. Until next time, keep training your body, sharpening your mind, and protecting your heart. This is Black Belt Legacy, where every story reminds us that true martial arts begin with humility and end with honor.